Hi folks, how you doing? During this you know, lockdown and such like, obviously doing a bit of reading, I quite recently have been smashing some of the Dave Canterbury books, and I read them just from cover to cover. Haven't really used them as a reference book as such. Read Bushcraft 101, then went on to Advanced Bushcraft, and now I'm reading the first aid book. I'm on about 2 or 3 chapters in now, and on about the sort of second chapter, he talks about this 5-minute shelter, 5-minute fire, and then 5-minute water boil. So what I'm going to do in this sort of short video, in kind of this, I'm hoping that it'll accumulate to under 15 minutes. Ideally the conditions are not too bad. It's, you know, it's bright sunshine, and you know, I'm not freezing my arse off and everything else, not hypothermic or anything else, but just for kind of demonstration purposes and just for the video, that's what I'm going to do. So it's not a challenge, it's not, I'm not going to tag anyone and expect anyone else to do it. If you want to go off and have a go at it, do. Okay, so it's 5 minutes to put a shelter up, okay, 5 minutes to make a fire, and then 5 minutes to bring your water to a boil. Okay, so we'll see how we get on. Right, so this isn't part of the challenge. Okay, so literally I need some water. All right, so down there's a bit of a running stream. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of select my water from over that side. I'm going to use the Grayl water bowl, which is quite a nice bit of kit for sterilising your water and such like. So I'm going to collect my water in here, and then obviously that's going to be what I boil in my vessel, as it were. All right. Try and get down this bank without sticking on the arms and falling in the street. Chasing too much debris, as it were. Oh, no, I've done. I'd put my filter on. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, foot's going in the water. This is how you don't do it. So what, I'm going to have to get out of this water, out of this position I'm in right now. Do it up here. I can't put a bit too much water in there actually. That would be alright. Right, so I've got my water now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find a spot now to commence the 15-minute sort of challenge, as it were. All right. No pressure. Okay, so in the description in the book, from my fractured memory, basically put the shelter up. Okay, you've got to make your fire, as I say, that's got to be done within 5 minutes, and obviously boiling the water's got to be done in 5 minutes as well. Now it's kind of been done in a sense of sort of conditions where obviously it's probably a little bit more serious than what it is today. All right, we've got a bit of wind, but obviously it's dry, sunshine, etc. From what I understand as well in the book, is telling you to use a surefire kind of fire lighter to help with the to get the fire going. I'm going to use something similar, and as I say, we'll just see how we get on. I'm just sort of taking a bimble now to have a look, see where I'm going to put my shelter up, put my poncho up, and next time you'll see me is when the challenge has started. All right. Right, so I found myself a spot. Okay. Got to put my stopwatch on my phone, on my watch, and then the challenge begins. Right. So here goes. Okay, so the simple shelter's done, and if we stop it, it looks like it's 2:41. Okay, so it's taken me 2 minutes to sort of put a real simple lean-to shelter up, obviously using a quick deployment line. And now we'll do the fire. Okay, now before I start the fire challenge, I'm not sure whether it's 5 minutes of you that you start from the beginning with you accumulating all your materials. So what I did do is I brought it up on my way back here. I collected some real fine materials. As I say in the video, in Dave's book, he talks about using a surefire fire burner. What I'm going to use is one of these sort of Tiger Tim sort of fire lighters. Okay. I've got birch bark material and all that in here. I'm going to try not to use that. I'm going to try and just use obviously what's in the pouch here. Okay, so right, so let's start. So we're about 1 minute 40 right now as I'm speaking, and obviously, all right, the conditions obviously a little bit better than it's been raining and everything else, but at least that initial fire is obviously going to give me that heat to obviously just warm the core of my body and my hands and such like, because I dare say that when I'm that cold, obviously your motor skills and such like are going to be a little bit affected by the cold and such like. And if you've got the early stages of hypothermia or some sort of cold injury as such, so I think we can pretty much say that the fire's going. But what I will say is obviously the conditions. All right. So what I failed to do is obviously stop the watch and show you, but it stopped at 2:24. Okay, just to be sort of, you know. So there we go with our fire. So now what we're going to do is the boil, the 5 minute boil. Okay, so what I'm going to do is use my Pathfinder fire stand and the mug. All right, and then I'm going to use the water out the Grayl. Okay, now there's enough there to at least get a brew on, or even if you ain't got a brew kit, at least you can drink the hot water. Now it might taste like shit, but at the end of the day it'll warm the core of your body. Now with the actual with the 5 minute boil, or you've got to get a boil within 5 minutes. Now Dave obviously explains that you can use the, I'm assuming it's the windshield, or you can put a couple of green sticks in the base of the fire, so obviously you've got a little bit of air there for it to circulate around the mug. But because of all intents and purposes, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the windshield. All right, so we've got a nice flamage there going from the fire. I think for this what I'm going to do is obviously put on my leather gloves. All right, just so that I can manage the fire a bit better. All right, and I do think that this is probably going to be the hardest bit of the challenge, I think. So we'll reset the stopwatch. I'll just keep the camera rolling now, and here goes. Oh, that's probably not the base isn't that. I'm going to lose me fire. Look at that. Quick, get into a flap. But the thing is though, is not to get into a fluster about everything. You know, it's like of late where I've been showing the videos of me, you know, not doing too well with the bow drill and such like. I mean, ask yourself the serious question, how many people will give up, you know, by that stage? So what I need to be doing now is obviously putting finer materials on the fire for it to obviously catch a flame around my cup. So let's put those bits back on now and give it a little bit of oxygen. Now even though there's a wind there, it ain't really hitting my fire as much as I want it to. So we're going to build up these sticks as much as we can around the, I could use my bottle as well, my stainless steel bottle if I really wanted to. At the moment I'm on 1 minute 26. kind of going to keep the camera going for now because I don't want to, you know, have any discrepancies with anyone saying, yeah, but you didn't do that, all that sort of stuff, because I know what social media and YouTube and all, you know, all the armchair warriors want to tell you. So I'll kind of keep it running, just so that I can, you know, sort of prove that I'm telling the truth, as it were, for those that might be new to my channel and want to try and mug me off about something. Right, so the beauty here really is just to have some sort of thinner materials there, stuff that's going to catch light and give it a real rapid burn. How's that going? Obviously that wind's getting a bit in the way as well, but oh, over the place. But I literally am right now, because the ground's quite dry, I'm literally just picking up twigs from around my knees and such like, and just adding them, feeding them onto the fire as well, onto that flameage. I'm now just on 2 minutes, just gone to 3 minutes now. Cool. But I suppose that's what you're kind of aiming for, to get that sort of blast into your vessel that you're using for boiling your water. Right, so we're on 334 at the moment. Now, it could be sort of, I mean, if I was to sort of say, well, it only took me so many minutes to do this and so many minutes to do that, does that mean then that I'm still allowed sort of maybe I'm allowed 10 minutes to get my water to the boil, because it didn't take me that long to put my shelter up or to get the fire going? But, you know, we'll try and keep within the challenge, we'll try and keep within the pretenses of it. I mean, I suppose it's 15 minutes to put the shelter up, get the fire going, and then obviously to get your water on the boil. Now, I've got a slight simmer there now. We're on 4 minutes 25. You know, like, have a look, folks, I'm not sort of lying to you. Got no reason to lie. It is what it is. So at the moment we've got ever so slight simmer on there, try and keep the flame away. All right. Right, so 441, 442, it's going up now. Well, that wind being all over the place as well, it's kind of flicking the flame all over the show. But obviously keeping the lid on will do better. Right, so we're on 5 minutes now. Okay, so does that mean I've failed the challenge? I wouldn't say it would you? You know, sort of give or take. I think it's just a nice exercise to potentially challenge yourself with, whether you want to do it in the summer or practice it this time of year and then have a go of it during the kind of shittier months, as it were. All right. So I'm happy with that. That'd be hot enough to drink as it is. There's bubbles coming around the outside of the pan. I'm happy with that. All right. So there it is, folks. That is the sort of, you know, I suppose it's set at 15 minutes. I mean, obviously, maybe if you give it, you know, if it takes you a couple of minutes to put your shelter up, then you've got 3 minutes left to put that onto making your fire, and then, you know, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit? At the end of the day, you've got to try and, you know, if you're in that sort of situation where you're obviously dependent on getting a fire going, getting a hot brew down your neck and all the rest of it, then you need to be on it. All right, and obviously the quicker you get it done, the better. So I suppose to have it as some kind of you know, sort of have it as almost like as a syllabus where you've got a set time to do it, and is obviously good practice and a nice little challenge to set yourselves. All right, so there it is. That is the that's the 15-minute challenge. We'll just go back now. My watch is still going. It's on 6 minutes odd, and I'm just gonna put my glove on so I don't burn my hands. So that's pretty good. I'll be happy with that, even though it's not on a rolling boil. I'll be pretty chuffed with that. Actually, no, that'd be excellent to stick in a brew anyway. So there it is. All right, so that's the challenge, folks. Okay, Cheers, nice one.